how does a decision, if they are placed on the list, how might that affect your disciplinary decision, if at all?
For us, it's not about being placed on a list. It's how they will be used by the district attorney's office. So we're not asking whether or not an officer is going on a list. We're asking in regards to whether or not their testimony will be credible, and if so, at what level. Whether you are working the front desk, inside, on the street, we all still have to have the ability to testify. So if you have not the ability to testify, that endangers your employment status. But if you are determined to have less than credible or less than trustworthy, meaning that, again, you will not be the first call, there becomes the more thoughtful process of, okay, is this individual still worthy to be within our department?
If we believe, based upon what the situation is, that member cannot be a credible member of our agency, we can't use him or her in any way, then that person's employment is terminated. But we look at the case first, and then we will, based upon what the finding is, well, a sustained case, we would send that information to the district attorney's office.
How many members currently employed with your agencies are on the Brady list?
For the sheriff's office, there's 5. I believe there's 3 deputies and 2 COs.
To my understanding, I believe 19. That could be give or take. I mean, we're not the holder of the Brady list, so that's to my understanding.
What would you say to the public about why those individuals are still employed? Obviously, I know you spoke a little bit to those shades of gradation, but how would you explain to the public why those individuals who are on the Brady list are still employed with your agency?
There has been a case brought against that person. The case has been sustained, and we don't believe that whatever that case is, that it's enough to terminate their employment. So as a result, somebody can just make a mistake, and if that's the case, then their employment is retained, and it hasn't risen enough where somebody's employment should be terminated, and so they are still on our agency.
So to level set the conversation, we take integrity issues very seriously. This is not something that is a quick snap decision, but also, as you just spoke, there are levels to these particular type of issues. And so when we're talking about someone who maybe wrote something administratively was not truthful on a form, it's not the same characterization of a issue. Someone who is involved in misconduct in office, or who is involved in a criminal proceeding. There's levels to this where, again, we're not the holder of the Brady list. We hold people accountable for their actions, what the evidence reveal, and also, again, what is the particular charges brought against them in regards to whether it's internal, or sometimes we're looking at from the standpoint of cases going before the district attorney's office or the U.S. attorney's office. What is the outcomes of those particular proceedings? So this is a very complicated particular type of situation. This is a very serious process. We are mindful, but we need to understand that there are guardrails. We have to make sure that we follow the law, and that everyone has their day in regards to their due process, because things, as was alluded earlier, can change. Just because you charge does not mean that you will be convicted. And so those are things that we have to be careful of, and not, what we will say, make a decision too early without knowing what the outcome is.